Welcome back to episode 2 with Dan Turnbull. This video is for educational purposes only. Hovercraft building involves risks. Please read the full disclaimer in the video description. A huge thank you to Dan and his wife Nikki for their hospitality, and to Dan for sharing priceless knowledge built through years of dedication to hovercraft racing. Today, he shows how simple it is to unpick a skirt to make your own pattern. All you need to know about skirt repair, the perfect way to start learning. He even shares the supplier he uses for materials. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is part 2 of 4 in how to unhovercraft skirts. There's lots more series to come with fiberglassing, flow straighteners, and even a Rotax 400M7 strip down still to come.
The advantage with actually having the ability to make them new is the ability to repair them as well.
Yes.
So, we've got lots of damaged segments over the years, but things like that where it's sort of ripped from the top edge. So this is the top attachment point. You can see there where the skirt clips used to be, and this particular one's ripped down there. You might decide you're going to have to throw that away, but you don't have to. You could stitch that back together again, maybe put an extra bit of material in behind it
to strengthen it,
sew that up and sew it back on there and reuse it. It depends.
turn it around. So it's at the right side. That's it.
So that would be on the effectively on the side of the hull.
And that's an easy fix for anyone at home. That's where someone could start, right? Repairing their own skirts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You don't need to invest hundreds of pounds in material, but you've already got the material on the craft
rather than buying a new one.
Good. So what I've done is I've stitched this back here. It's obviously ripped through there. So I've stitched a new patch in to give that some strength, and if we need to, fit that again.
Mm-hmm. So that's one you've repaired.
Yeah. There's certain areas where wear and tear you can't repair. So this particular one, for instance, has worn through down here. Now there's not an awful lot you're going to do there, because
could you not patch that?
You could patch that, but the reason it's worn through there is because that's obviously a contact point. So very quickly your stitching is going to wear through, and the patch is going to come off again. So you're back to square one. But you could do. It might be a freak accident where it's a rip somewhere like that, for instance. Where it's not a problem, but this is into your sort of major wear zones down there. Normally you'd expect them to wear from here and the wear to work its way up, but that's clearly chewed a big hole in it for whatever reason. And if you did patch it, you might expect it to last half a season maybe before it fails again.
But if you were to patch it and it gets you three race meetings,
patch it again.
Yeah.
We were talking about Bowie staples earlier. Bowie would stick 2 bits of duct tape on that, a bit from the inside, a bit from the outside, and then stitch around the masking tape, stitch around the duct tape. And to be fair, it will probably work.
Yeah, well, if you get it, so it got you through a race meeting.
If it gets you through a race meeting or through 2-3 race meetings, then you've saved yourself, I don't know, what was it, £11-12 a segment, that you could have just thrown away. Well, you could recycle them. So in the spirit of saving money and doing things yourself, you can, there's some that are too far gone. That's one. That's about it. And that's simply worn out. They can feel the material. I've actually stitched that one back together before, by the looks of that, where we've folded, one bit of material inside the other and stitched it down the inside to make that. But when you get to the point where it's old and the material, the material loses its strength anyway, and then you've got to stitch through it, and eventually something's going to give. So that's a way of sort of recycling segments if you really feel the need. But
I remember,
as demonstrated there, it doesn't last forever. But then nothing does.
Of course not. So I remember as a kid when my mum did it. Obviously, the skirts get absolutely filthy, and to repair them or whatever, she would put them through the washing machine. They're nice and clean. They're nice and clean for a sewing machine. So that's a
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, if you're using an old tired sewing machine like this one where you're not that bothered,
Then-
you know, you wait for the segment, you wait for the moisture to dry out on the segment, give it a shake, bang it against the wall, get all the dust, as much of the dust and straw and all the rubbish off it as possible. If you want to, we dunk it in a bucket of water and try and rinse it, and then hang it on the washing line for a bit before you bring it in here. We'd used to put them through the washing machine, but it probably doesn't do the washing machine a lot of good. So not bothered anymore with that. You know, you just fish all the bits of rubbish out the bottom of the sewing machine when you finish and oil it. And as long as the sewing machine continues to run, you're fine. There's a few more over here that we've been repairing, some of which are worthy of keeping, some not. You know, so you've got this is an example. You've got sort of perforations and tears and things like that lower down, and you know, it's another one again ripped through at the top, just patched. You know, again showing signs of wear. It's already starting to go quite thin. It will probably eventually tear up there, but that might do a season, might do half a season, depends where it is. You know, the easy ones, really easy ones, are where this becomes unstitched. So that seam might for whatever reason become unstitched and it opens out. So you take it off, put it back on the sewing machine, run another seam in, you know, fix any other issues. That's had another patch on the top as well. You can see there it's had a hard life as that. It's been quite badly chewed. But again, if you're in a sticky position, or if you wanted to make a low profile chip bag or something like that, just cut the bottom off it and then sew a new flap in.
Yeah.
And seal that off. So yeah, it's just useful to have, you know, it's nice to have the space. Obviously it is required to have the space, but if you're just repairing them, you just need a sewing machine with a reasonable amount of material, reasonable amount of thread, and you can stitch them back up again.
This video is sponsored by Moravia UK, leaders in public safety and site protection. From traffic control to industrial safety gear, they have got you covered. Check them out at moravia.co.uk.
You know, if we've got an old segment that we want to sort of use as a template, you would just unpick the main seams. Just go all the way down, and you can either then translate the, you know, what's now a 3D shape back into a 2D shape again.
Okay, so that's really good. So anybody at home can literally unpick their skirts,
Yeah,
lay it out, and make themselves a pattern out of it if they want to give it a go.
yeah, it's, you know, making new ones is nice and clean and sort of neat and simple once you know the design. But if you've already got a skirt on your craft, then you've already got your design. It's on your craft, so you can just take one of those skirts and, you know, sort of either turn it into a pattern or turn it back into its original 2D shape. And having done that, then you can turn that into a pattern if you want. And all of these sort of things, you know, the scissors, this quick unpick, all of this sort of stuff, freely available from any sort of craft store. So you don't need any, you know, fancy stuff other than maybe the thread.
Dan shares his go-to company for sourcing skirt material.
The unpicking.
Remember, there are hovercraft manufacturers globally that can also provide materials. It's all about finding the right fit for your needs and budget.
Unpick that or extrapolate that into your triangle. Do the same on this side, and that would be your profile. And then, so it doesn't look a million miles different to our design, because they're all pretty much generated from the same basic principles. So if you needed to make some more of those, you just, you know, take one off your craft, unpick it, lay it out. You translate it from there onto a lump of cardboard or onto a lump of hardboard, and sort of recreate it from there. So
Where would you order this from? Where could you order this from?
This is
Dan shares his go-to company for sourcing skirt material. Remember, there are hovercraft manufacturers globally that can also provide materials. It's all about finding the right fit for your needs and budget.
yeah, Tail-on textiles.
Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. There's plenty more hovercraft action on the way.